What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cracker Hunters. I'm Carolina Hitman.
I'm Anubis.
And we got a special guest host today, our friend, and well, my best friend, one of my best friends, and
My wife.
Marquis, hi.
yes. So on a special, well, I don't even say special edition, but just
It's just shooting the shit.
yeah, just shooting the shit. Yeah,
We're just
it's
shooting the shit.
And today we're gonna be shooting the shit on remakes. This is actually a topic that I've discussed with with
Everybody.
with everybody. Yeah.
I think everybody discusses this topic.
Yeah, I think it's a good topic to talk about because
It can go either way.
yeah, it can.
And it's either awesome or awful.
Yeah, and like there's no
there's
in
never-
between. It's really not. It's really not.
It's either, man, that was actually really good, or
Fuck
that
this movie. Yeah,
Fuck that movie.
And you can always tell in the theater, because in the theater, there's always that people behind you that are like, this fucking sucks.
Or it could be like we and Derek. That's what we had to deal with. Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness,
Shut
man.
up, guy.
But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about some remakes. We'll be talking about some of our favorites, some of the best ones, some of the worst.
ones.
Yeah. So we're gonna be just talking about a wide variety of remakes in this entire video. So I'm gonna ask both of you, in your opinion, what makes a good or bad remake?
I think, for me, I think it's how close it is to the original story. The acting, definitely. Because, you figure, you got a movie made back in the 1960s, you figure the acting today will be better. And the special effects will be better. And just the practical effects, just all that stuff put together makes a better remake.
Okay. What about you, Murky? What makes a good one for you?
I like a remake that takes the original movie and will actually put just enough of a spin on it that it's interesting again. Like, I don't want to see an exact scene-by-scene remake of a movie like Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
I loved the remake on that. A lot of people hated it.
I don't know why.
A lot of people hated it.
I think it was
but
'cause
I
it was
thought
so
it was a
boring.
really good remake.
Yeah, I'll go for you. Like I said, that's for me. I agree. Like I said, for me to be a good remake, I think it needs to be able to stay on its own.
Right.
Like even
Yeah,
though we
yeah.
know it's a remake and we know it's based off another movie, it still needs to be able to stand on its own. Like take some.
Still be a good movie just by itself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, if you had never seen the original, would you still want to watch this movie?
Yes. Exactly. And like I said, and plus I love it when they take that and they follow it. Like it's kind of like in the middle of both of you. Like they follow the story, but they do enough
Different.
different to make it their own movie.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the main things I look for. Like
Oh, and I always love the little hints to the original.
and that's exactly. I think that needs to be a little
Easter
throwback.
egg,
Yeah.
little Easter eggs. Like, you can say with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with the Jessica Biel remake, where of course it was that one camera angle right up to their butt. That was in the original, and they put that right there in the.
They really
remake,
did.
which was-
And then the door slamming.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When he does that, he's like,
Like he slammed that door hard as shit
he
too.
said,
Like he
"Fuck
really
you." He
did.
said- he said,
Like you
"Fuck
just
you."
murdered somebody. What do you got to be mad for? You
Like-
slammed the door like you're upset.
you know, somebody on set was like peeing and just literally pissed all over themselves because like
Right.
Well, if you had a face that looked like that, I'd be pissed off.
No, that's true. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna start off We'll start off talking about some of the best remakes. Not our favorites just yet, but some of the best ones that's come out so far.
I got one.
Well, okay, well you started off then. What's in your opinion? What's one of the best ones?
Jungle Book.
Oh man, that is yes. I wholeheartedly agree. And for me, I was worried because everybody loves the Jungle Book. Babalu, well, Baloo, but I know I keep thinking of going back to Tailspin. But yeah, Babalu. But yeah, Baloo. I mean, just they have such
King Louie.
Shere Khan.
Bagheera.
Yeah, but they have such memorable characters, and it's an animated movie, so a lot more kids have seen it and everything. And
the songs, everybody knows
Yes.
the songs. I don't care how
It's
old
the
you are, you
bare
can sing.
necessities, the simple bare necessities.
You be 40 years old still singing that
Right.
song. You don't care.
I always like
But-
King Louie's better,
Really?
Yeah. I wanna be like you.
Dude, Christopher Walken
He
did
did
a really good
job on that
version
one.
of that.
He really did.
I
Like,
loved that they used him.
I know. I was
he-
surprised.
He's a perfect person for that
Yeah.
though. Like once you hear his voice in there, like like that's why I love Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Like he's a good director and he knows how to
He
pick
can
his
cast,
cast.
yeah.
Yes.
And Idris Elba.
Oh yes, and Shere
I
Khan.
love Idris Elba.
Man.
I think we're also forgetting who else they casted was Bill Murray as Baloo.
That was perfect. Like that's perfect casting.
Yeah, perfect
It
casting.
was.
And same way with Ben Kingsley as Bagheera.
Yes.
And
Just
then
regal and
Scarlett Johansson.
yes, as what's the snake's
What's
name?
it? I can't remember.
I think her name is Shush or something like that.
No, I don't think
Yeah, it's really not. I know it's not Shush.
Shush, it's like shh or something like that. I
But
can't
she does, like, you can see how it's kind of a little hypnizing.
Right,
It's
it
like,
is.
She does a good job.
Well, we've all seen Scarlett Johansson.
she is
so.
a little hypnotizing. Fuck her.
Yeah.
Amazing. Fuck her.
But
That's why we couldn't pay attention in Ghost in the Shell.
right.
That's
but,
why half the people couldn't pay attention in Civil War, because she wore, like, the black skin tight suit, and that was the end of
She
it.
wore that in every single
Yeah.
Marvel movie.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think what worried me though is like the people who were taking their kids to see the movie grew up with the original.
Yeah.
And and that movie had a lot to live up to because that movie is a classic. Like the original animated movie, it's a classic.
The Disney animated classic.
Right.
And they did it so well.
And they did.
Well, and the other thing you have to think of too is when you're watching it and it's a cartoon, you see the violence, but it doesn't really seem as real.
Right.
But then when you do like the live action capture, what is it? Is it just
motion
like
capture.
motion capture? When you do
Okay.
the motion capture, like the violence is a little bit more
Pronounced.
believable.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Well-
little more realistic.
Well, like also too, another thing too that Murphy was pointing out why we like the remake, because they put enough in it that was different.
Yes.
And it still stayed true to the original story.
Oh man,
man-
our kids love that.
And I'm gonna tell you
movie.
right now, those are some of the best special effects I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh.
Like they made those animals
wolves-
look real.
Yeah, those
The wolves
wolves
were
look
Yes,
my
Shere Khan and I mean
favorite.
all of them. The only one that looked kind of fake was Baloo.
or King Louie.
Yeah, King Louie, you're right. But man, I mean, they did an amazing job on the special effects on that movie, and I was glad, and I'm excited and kind of I don't know if Jon Favreau's doing this one. I'm excited and a little hesitant because they're doing that remake of The Lion King, which is that's dangerous.
All right, well, let's go to another one.
Oh, you just cut me the fuck off like I wasn't finished breaking my
dude.
point. You see that shit, Jenny?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
Murky, you see that shit?
I don't know if I can watch The Lion King, man. Cause like that scene where his dad dies, I cried. Like I'm not gonna. I cried like a little bitch. I was like 14 or 15 when I watched it, and I still was like hysterically
the
bawling.
king.
You know, that was all Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you that was
He was such a good voice. Oh, sinister.
yes, he was.
We should just do this video in the Jungle Book.
What is this?
All right.
Let's do Disney. What is this do with Disney?
Which we're gonna do is shoot the shit on Disney eventually.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, but all right, so let's go to another one. For me, you mind if I take one?
No, go
Like
ahead.
I think the greatest remake of all time, in my opinion, is The Thing. Like The Thing.
I figured it was either going to be that or Evil Dead, honestly.
Yeah, Evil Dead's up there, but I'd put Invasion of the Body Snatchers above Evil Dead.
Which one?
The 1978
Donald
one.
The Donald Sutherland one.
Yeah.
The remake?
Yeah. Well, no, there was a remake of the remake.
Yeah, there was one.
The
they
one in
did
1990.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like. Ugh.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway,
Yeah, no,
go
that's
on.
fine. Like The Thing is everything a remake should aspire to be. Like it stuck closer to the original short story that it was based off of. It took everything from the original movie and upped that shit like 100 times.
Oh, it really did.
And
I think-
everything about that movie is like there's actually not one thing you can point out as a flaw in that entire movie.
I think also the casting was excellent.
Well, that's John Carpenter too, man.
Joel Egerton, man.
I'm telling you.
It's you know what?
You know what's funny is you were the one who actually got me to watch that remake. Because that was when we
No,
first met.
not that remake, not that one. I'm talking
Of
about
The Thing. Are you talking about the
I'm
original?
no, the thing was the thing you're talking about is the prequel. I'm talking about the thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, the remake with Joel Egerton.
Joe Eggers, no, not that one. That wasn't John Carpenter. No, I'm talking about the one with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's the
yeah, that's
original,
the
isn't it?
No, that's a remake.
Oh, so there's like a remake
Yeah,
of
the
a
thing
remake
from
on that
what
one?
was it?
Oh my
It's the
God.
thing from. See, so I got brought notes.
Okay, well,
The
you're
thing
the
from
one,
another world is the one
you're the
from
one-
1951.
You're the one who got me to watch the remake of the remake.
Right. Which,
Which was good too.
no,
is
which
good.
now I'll say this. Well, Yeah, because we're talking about the thing. Yeah. So the prequel of the remake, technically, because it was basically a remake. I don't care what they say. It was almost
It was a remake.
Yeah.
But the thing about that, I went in there knowing there's no way they can top John Carpenter's thing. So what I did is I separated that, left it over there, and went in there just with an open mind. And you both are right. Like, I actually really like that movie. The special effects are hit and miss, but
They're meh.
they are, man. They are. There's a few parts in it that are really good, but for the most part, it's meh.
I think the acting made that movie good.
I don't like. To me, the acting was like
the actors were actually really good in that movie. You know, I think they casted the right the female character. What was her name? She played in. She played in that Live Free, Die Hard. I can't remember.
I can't.
Miss Forgettable, because we all know her name. We'll call her that.
Yeah, Miss Forgettable.
Yeah.
And Joel Edgerton.
But the thing, no, that's not one of the greatest remakes. Like I said,
I'm not saying that's what I thought you were talking about.
Okay, I apologize.
But you're talking about the Kurt Russell.
Yes, I'm talking about the Kurt Russell one. That one is the greatest remake of all time because that does everything a remake should do. Expand upon the original movie and still do enough to make it its own movie. Like you can, I watch that movie at least once every few months because it's that good.
Really?
And oh yeah, at least once every few months because I love going back and looking at the CGI. I mean, no, not CGI.
The practical effects, man. That's what's so fun to watch about movies like that is the practical effects because it's not just
CGI.
The CGI, like I like CGI, but I'm always going to be a practical effects.
Me too. I'm an '80s baby, so that's
that's about the best way to put it.
And like I've said before, practical effects require a lot more imagination on how to get done.
And they look better.
Yeah, they really do. And they do look better. And plus,
I have to say, I'm in between on the practical effects and the CGI because I love both of them.
I like both.
Depending on who does it and how it's done, like
we already know.
District 9. It has to be District 9. That man has got special effects down to just. I don't know.
See, when you were talking about how good the special effects on the Jungle Book was, that's how good that I compare it to. It's almost as good as District 9.
Yeah, almost. Like District 9 is the benchmark for me for special effects.
Yeah,
because those are perfect. Like that looks real.
But back to the
thing.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I loved about the thing too, man, is like the isolation and paranoia. Because these guys were all buddies and everything, good friends.
They're stuck up in damn Antarctica.
Right, and it wasn't until like the thing started taking over people and it looks mimicking everybody because it looks just it's impossible.
It's a shapeshifter.
Right, it's impossible to tell the thing from the actual person because it mimics them so perfectly.
It's like that really give you trust issues for the rest.
It really does.
If you live through that, you're not going to trust nobody.
And let's not forget, man, it's Kurt Russell back in his heyday when he was the man. I mean, he was just the man
What's the black dude's name? I had it in my head, but I forgot his name.
What else did he play in?
A lot of shit. He played in They Live. He was one of the voices in Mass Effect. In the Citadel, one of the guys. He's been in so many things, man. It's hard.
Is he one of those B characters where he's in everything, but he's never the lead character? Like Michael Biehn?
Honestly, yeah. He's good enough to be
he's a good actor and he's in everything, but he's never the main character.
I can't even see a face, I'll be honest with you.
I forgot. I'll show you a little bit later on.
You'll
know as soon as I show you the face like that. And for me, the best part about the thing, besides the practical effects, the paranoia, the ending. The ending is so open and ambiguous because it's not.
You never can tell if he made it, if the thing made it.
Right, you can't tell if
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it by now.
By the time, well, not even that. I posted spoiler alert in the very beginning, so they all know. But it's just that we don't know. I think it's Keith David. I think that's his name. Yeah, Keith David. Yes.
Okay.
He is in everything, and he's a voice actor in so many kids' cartoons.
He is.
I
He
never
really is.
realized.
Okay.
But yeah, and I love the ending because it doesn't give you a clear cut. It doesn't make it seem you can go with both ways. Like it's Keith David the thing because you don't see his I understand people say the camera angle, but you don't when Kurt Russell talks. You can see his breath coming out.
Right. Oh, but you can't see Keith
Keith Davis. And plus, there's a theory too, is that when he gives him the drink, Because one, Kurt Russell doesn't drink out of it, but remember he was making Molotovs. So he knew it was gasoline. There's a theory that he knew it was gasoline. So when he gave it to Keith Davis' character and he drunk it, that's why he started smirking, because that's when he realized, okay, that's the thing, because he didn't realize it wasn't alcohol.
He figured out how to.
Right, but that's just a theory. That's just one of the theories.
here's one
Which
of
is
the
a good
things-
theory, by the way. I like that.
Here's one of the things I love about those movies is like
I don't know about the ambiguous.
the ambiguous endings. Like you might watch it one day and be in a certain mood where you're like,
Sorry.
that's definitely what it is. And then you might watch it 2 months later in a completely different kind of mood, and you're
Right.
like, maybe it's
Well,
not.
I think an ambiguous ending, if
I like
done
that it
properly,
messes
it's
with
good
you.
and enhances the movie. Like the thing, it's that ending was a perfect ending. Like it doesn't give you any clear-cut answers, but it ends in a way to where it brings out dialogue.
With that one.
It makes you
with that
think.
one, but that's what I'm saying.
It
That
really
movie
makes you
does.
think. Even
Yeah, 'cause-
after the movie's over, like for still, there might be a couple days later where you'd be sitting there at work, like, I wonder if
Right.
those movies drive me insane. I love them, but I hate
And
them.
then and then there's
time.
there's the other side of the spectrum, like with Inception. That-
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Well, no, I like the ending because you can't tell if he's in a dream or if he woke up.
Exactly, the ambiguous.
Fuck
fucking
that.
bullshit.
But again, when it's done right, I thought that was done good.
I mean, I just don't like it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Jenny,
Christopher Nolan
Murphy,
dropped the ball on that one.
keep forgetting. Murray, what's one of the best ones for you? Because me and Derek have named a couple.
I'm gonna have to go with Evil Dead. I loved the remake. It
Man.
took all the stuff that was great about the original, but what everybody got so mad about was
The gore.
No, they were mad because it
they
was
were
like
mad
a red
'cause
herring.
it wasn't funny like the original.
Which
Well, the original wasn't supposed to be funny.
It-
It
wasn't.
it was a dark humor
No,
kind
well,
of
Well,
thing.
the second
It
one was
wasn't-
the second
The
one was
original
Yeah.
which
was actually-
technically Evil Dead 2 is a remake of Evil Dead.
Yeah,
but
like the original
first,
Evil Dead was actually really kind of horrifying.
Yeah,
like
it's-
I watched that when I was a kid,
I know that.
and I
Right.
was
That-
scared to go
That little
outside at
song-
dark.
Yeah, the little song that she sings underneath
Oh.
when she's in that crack, that we're gonna get
Right.
And of course, the first time I saw that movie, we lived in a house
What year
that
was
was
that?
right
What
across
was
from
it?
a cemetery.
The original was 1983.
Yeah.
I
remake
mean,
was
it
2011.
was creepy, but like the second, like when they made the remake, I remember we went to theaters to see it because
Oh,
I
yeah.
was so stoked.
Actually, all three of us went to
Yeah.
the theaters to
Mhm.
see it.
And my favorite scene is the scene where the girl is literally cutting off pieces
Oh,
of
and
her
that
face.
sound.
And you
No.
hear the sound, like it doesn't
Yeah,
even
it's that-
show
the
you.
sound is
Right.
first.
But you hear the sound, and the sound is so horrifying that by the time you see the scene, you're already like,
Yeah, because you know she's hunched over and you see her
oh,
hand
because
moving.
you know it's gonna be
Yes.
so bad just by like
It
I
was.
thought that was so
And
well done.
and you see people, that's why practical effects are amazing, because those were all practical effects. It wasn't
Like,
no CGI. Except
like-
when they set her on fire. That's the only
like
part.
Chainsaw Massacre, you know, you never actually see the scene where he slams them on the hook.
Well,
They
that is true.
imply it. They imply it, but people are so convinced that that's what they see that they will tell you. But if you watch the movie, there is no scene where you actually see them on the hook.
Okay. I didn't know.
Practical effects, man.
yeah.
mind
Well, in
tricks.
the remake, you do see that.
Well, that's the remake.
Well, in the remake they did it as a point, but in
Because-
the original,
Right.
because they couldn't get away with the rating system if they did it.
Right.
Right. And I think, like, back to Evil Dead, I think that is another good example of a really good remake. It enhances the original,
But just
and-
enough different.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't like that, it was because of the red herring. Like her brother, everybody thought that he
That
was
was
the Bruce,
Campbell.
yeah, but it
Yeah.
turned out to be her instead, which I thought that was a pretty good twist.
Well,
I did
there's-
too. I liked it.
Yeah, well, didn't they both made it out, didn't they?
No,
No,
she's
no.
the only
that's
one.
right. He
And
did
then
make it
she's
out.
the one that you don't really root for. Think
And
she's
you
gonna make
don't.
it out anyway because she's the one who's like she's apparently the drug addict who's trying
Oh,
to kill
it's her
herself a
fault.
few
They're
times.
there.
Yeah, it's all her
Yeah,
fault.
and it's
Well,
like
It's her fault.
I think it's
Yeah.
that one dude's fault for reading the Necronomicon.
And that's,
But,
but you know what? Damn it! Thank you for bringing it up. You know what? That dumb motherfucker. Like,
Oh my
hey,
God.
like the thing's
I
wrapped in
can't-
barbed wire for a reason.
I can't say anything. If you put a fucking forbidden bug down in my lap, I'm gonna wait
He's
till you
talking
leave
shit,
the
but
room.
so would Anubis. He
And
would
then
too.
I would read that shit.
Just especially
I
with
wasn't
demon
talking
faces and shit.
I would
wouldn't
read
talk
it.
shit.
I would
was like,
have
it's his
to-
fault for reading
I
it.
would have to read it. I don't know if I could like literally.
You can read it, but don't say the shit out loud.
Well, I would be like,
Think
hey,
it.
Alvin, look at this stuff. Or go
Right.
to Carolina, watch. Hey, man, I wonder how to pronounce this. Blah, 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 blah.
Right, like don't. Why are you reading a book that's wrapped in barbed wire? Apparently, that's It's wrapped in barbed wire for
That's
a
gotta be
reason.
a really fucking interesting book if it's wrapped in like there's got to be something more in there.
YouTube. This is like interesting. I'm the complete opposite. No,
Oh,
you know
no,
what? That's just
I
wrapped
would
in
be
barbed
all-
wire. I don't need to mess with that.
I'm not gonna lie, I would be that stupid bitch in the horror movies who like hears the sound and I would have to go see what the
But
sound
the
is.
only difference between you and them is that you're so clumsy. Like you would actually defeat.
I would kill them on
and not even on
accident.
purpose. Like you would trip, hit a bookshelf. The bookshelf would fall over, hit another one, and whatever's on top of the bookshelf would fall down, hit a knife. It would flip and hit whoever was chasing you in
and
the
I
head
would
and kill them.
still manage to bash my shit on the bookshelf.
Like you would probably
And
kill yourself
everybody-
and the dude at the same time.
Everybody else would come in running because I'd be sitting there like, my knee, and then there's the dead body. And that's exactly how it would
As you
go.
can tell, all of my scars on my arm.
Yeah, the burn marks and stuff.
My poor kid.
Like if you were a woman,
Oh.
they'd swear up and down she was abusing you.
I'm mad. I'm sorry. I'm clumsy. I'm not.
But you know, that's the fun. I think that's the fun part. You know, about like all these remakes and stuff. You know, they're taking all of them and you know they're making them good. But like we
Not
also
now.
said though, it's every now and again. You know, most of the time it's not good.
But you
Yeah,
know-
I agree. Most of the time, it's average at best or not good.
Right.
But at the same time, when you watch a remake, man, you don't want to sit down and watch the exact same film,
Exactly.
frame to frame to frame. Because like if you're gonna do that, just watch the original.
You know, I think
Just-
that too with the Evil Dead, they also threw that really good little Army of Darkness thing in where it was the Evil Dead where she cut her hand
Yeah.
off. You
I
know?
mean, they did throw that in.
so
But
that was fun.
it's a homage to the original,
Right.
Yeah.
in a smart way that isn't just hammy, but it made sense.
It's a nice little homage.
Yeah, it did. It's
well, the Rain and Blood too. That was pretty.
Oh, that was- it
That
was.
was metal.
yeah, it was brutal. But
Be like, oh, dude, this is so gross.
I think too another good one is, again, this is like one of my favorite movies of all time, was Dawn of the Dead. Like that took zombies to another level.
It
Like,
made them scary again.
it did, because don't get me wrong, back in the 1979 when they made the original one.
Oh, Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, no.
Oh, Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. When they made that one, you know, at the time, the which it's kind of hammy now and a little bit cheesy.
Well,
but
no,
at
then that was a new concept.
well, that's what I'm saying. Back then, like the special effects were state of the art, and it was pretty graphic by then. But what you watch them now, it's pretty hammy. But what I loved about the remake is, like you said, it made it scary again, because now they're not slow, shambling, mindless things. They are
they are
track stars.
hungry predators.
Yeah,
Right.
they are as fast as the human body can possibly.
Exactly.
As fast as you can possibly be because you have no limits.
None. And I think too is that in the original, there's a chance the world could be saved. They're
Right.
slow moving, and there's a chance it can be saved.
Now
With the
the
remake,
remake,
there's no chance. Like
yeah.
all of
No.
us are gonna die.
Everybody
Like
dead.
the
Yeah.
end of the movie, when you watch past the credits and it starts showing the scenes where they make it to the island,
Right.
I was so disappointed, but it still seemed kind of fitting at the same time. I was like, that sucks that they died.
Well,
but
actually,
that
you know,
makes
that
sense.
fits in with the Night of the Living Dead and the Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. Hell, nobody lives.
Oh man, Night of the
Wait a minute.
Living Dead. I remember watching that.
Yeah, they shot that fucking guy, even though he
Yeah.
was.
Oh man, I watched that movie, and I think for 6 months straight, I would fall asleep watching that movie every night
And that's
because
the-
it was it was just obsessively good.
It really
just-
was.
Like that
And it was
scene,
so ahead of its time
and
when
that
it came
scene where he
out.
smacks the white girl,
Oh,
like
that's
back then.
Back then,
oh,
that
no.
shit was. Oh
you could
yeah.
get shot for that
they
shit
they
back
took
then.
a major chance with that. With putting, well, not
Oh
even
yeah,
just that,
and
but putting
making
a
him
black
kind of the
lead in a
hero,
movie.
yeah.
Oh,
And then
well,
the
that
best
would be
part.
Romero.
Huh?
No.
That was George Romero.
Yeah, exactly.
The best part about that is part of the funding that they got from that movie was from fucking Mr. Rogers.
Really?
Yes. Mr. Rogers, he was like this big dude in the town. So when they were talking about making their own movie and they didn't have the funding, he would let them borrow like camera equipment and everything else from
Really?
the studio. Like he was really big
Like,
on supporting
is there
local
anything
artists.
Mr. Roger is not awesome at?
Dude, Mr. Rogers,
Man,
Like,
he-
that's-
he
the
could
world
tie
did
his
not
shoes up
deserve
like a
him.
motherfucker, man.
I'm gonna tell you, Mr.
and
Rogers.
it was a very sad day
yeah,
when he passed
like
away.
Mr. Rogers is single-handedly
made
the
you-
greatest person who, in my opinion, I'd say the greatest person who's ever walked this earth in the past
He was so
50
nice.
100 years. I
Oh,
say.
he was so nice.
Like it's rare that you see a person who's genuinely that awesome. But we're getting off subject. Sorry. All you do is shoot the shit on him.
Yeah, but anyway, sorry. I just had to throw that out there because
Right.
I thought that was the coolest fact ever.
Right, and also in the remake, the 1990s version of Dawn of the Dead was actually pretty good too because it had Candyman in there too.
His name is Tony Todd.
I know, but I mean,
And
But
Tom
he's
Savini
always-
was-
yeah, exactly. No, he wasn't in it. He directed this one. He was in the original.
He cameoed in it. He
Did
was
he?
the sheriff on TV.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Well, no. That's in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I'm talking about Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
He directed the remake with Tony
Todd.
Todd, but he was in. Remember, he was one of the bikers in Dawn of the Dead. They were attacking the mall. He was,
in the original.
Yeah, in the original Dawn of the Dead, he was one of the bikers, which I thought that was pretty cool.
Man, he's
Oh, yeah.
he's actually
He's one of the greatest special effects artists ever to walk this
He's
earth.
also got his own school too. So.
Which
Does
I
he?
would love to go there. Yeah.
Oh my.
Mhm.
Yeah. Tom Savini.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Tony Todd. I knew
Oh.
that. I was about to be like, really? He's got his own special effects school?
All right,
Yeah,
so
Tom Savini does.
Hey, so
all right, I'll say another good one. Like I think this is easily top 5 remakes of all time. The Fly.
Jeff Goldblum
Yes, that movie.
made you want to throw up.
Like
that movie
that.
kind of broke
I'm
your-
almost at a loss for words because that movie
It is gross.
is ugh.
It is exactly.
David Cronenberg, I love his directorial style. I love him as a director.
Cronenberg Morty.
But man, it kind of broke your heart too at the
It
end.
really did because it really
Well,
was.
you know what?
It's a sad movie to be
It
honest
is.
with
He
you.
was fucking with that teleporter and he knew that.
But that's it's
Come
come on
It's like,
now. But
it's
still,
like any
who
one of
knows?
us have not taken risks knowing that the worst
That's what
thing could
That's why we
happen.
have so many advancements in the scientific community
Shit,
because
Marie
that
Curie
one
died.
dude, like you know what?
Yeah.
I'm
One
pressing the
fucking
envelope.
guy.
Fuck it. I'm gonna try.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna swim with that big ass great white.
Right, exactly. But the thing about that one, like it enhanced, like.
Up
Excuse me.
until he
The
starts
1958
turning grody.
version was
Oh,
it was
sorry.
good. What did you say?
Like you're talking about it enhanced. I was about to be like, well, right before he started turning grody, like it was actually
Oh,
pretty cool.
Right.
It was like
do you remember
it was like
the-
there was the build up and then the gross let down.
Yeah.
Do you remember
It
the
was
dream
gross.
sequence that she had where she gave birth to a maggot?
Yeah.
A giant maggot.
Cronenberg, you're awesome. Sorry, he really is.
It's definitely memorable.
Yes, it really
You
is.
don't-
That scene is
you
stuck in
don't
my head
forget.
forever.
I'm telling you though, man. But that's what I'm saying, man. Is that it took like that's another perfect one. It took everything about the original and enhanced everything, acting, special effects, the themes of the movie, everything about that movie. Yeah, the story exactly.
Because they got a lot more in depth on it
because when the
too.
original came out, remember the original came out and it was all black and white.
Right.
They-
me.
Yeah,
It
but let's
smashed
be
it.
honest,
Right.
man. There's some black and white movies that still can't be topped this day, like Nosferatu.
Well, wait, hold on. No. That's not the point I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
What
Well,
the point
I was just
getting at
throwing that out
I'm
there.
saying like black and white. What I meant was they
It does
couldn't
kind of
really-
limit, yeah.
They couldn't imagine the technology that we got now.
Right, exactly.
That's true.
And you look at the '80s as to
The
where
greatest generation for movies, music, TV,
Back to
everything.
the Future, dude, almost to the fucking year. Back to the Future said that the Cubs were going to win the series.
Yeah, that's true. I think they were a year off. Yeah.
1 year later, the Cubs did win, but you know everything's went down.
And Marty McFly finally got his shoes, his self-tying shoes. He finally got them.
So
Man,
that was the point that I was getting at. You know,
But The Fly, though, man, the special effects in that movie,
yeah.
And like
they
his
were amazing.
His face was so.
Especially at the end
It
when
was
he was
so
putting that barrel up to
disgusting.
his
Yeah, like it was so disgusting and gooey, and you could see why she was like just.
Ugh.
Well, you can see.
Like I
where-
love you, but don't touch me.
You can
baby. You're
also see
gross.
where he would be putting that barrel up to his head. Just fucking.
I would, like,
Gross,
no.
gross me, motherfucker, please.
All right, so, yeah, The Fly is another one. Now,
All right.
I'm going to talk about a bad one, though. Let's do a bad one right quick.
All right,
Oh,
wait,
we've been
wait,
talking all
what-
these good ones.
What do you consider a bad one, though?
A bad one is one that is basically the same movie, but does
PG.
nothing. No, that bitch is PG. It does nothing.
No, from rated R to PG.
No, I won't even say that. It
That's-
just.
It just doesn't introduce anything new.
Anything new. It actually
This is the point.
regresses instead of progresses as far as even just special effects or anything. It actually is worse than the original.
Okay, so give us an example.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Fuck that. Oh man, you know what? That was one movie that made me mad when I saw that. Like and I gotta take my glasses off this. They wasted. Yeah, take them off anyway. They wasted the perfect fucking Freddy Krueger actor.
I'm so glad you said that.
Like they
That was
wasted
gonna
him.
be one of my main points. I was gonna have to argue that movie.
that's-
No. That's like he was. Like for me, he was the perfect person to play Freddy Krueger.
Because he did Nice Guys so well, and it was so believable. But then Evil was so
just
good.
fucking, it made me mad.
There's one scene in that movie where you truly realize how evil
I already know which
Freddy
scene you're
is.
going to talk about too.
And it's when the one dude had been dead in jail, and he's back in his dream sequence, and he comes. He's like, "It takes 8 minutes for the brain to die. We still got 7 minutes left." And
like the dude's face is so broken.
Right.
He's just
Right.
like,
damn, you can't even let me
no.
die right. Like you're gonna torture me to 7 minutes before I actually die.
like, damn it.
Right. But and that's what made me so mad is like they wasted a good opportunity to enhance a classic already. And that's another thing. Oh, I'm gonna bring.
There was one thing I did like about that movie though that they did bring up.
What's that?
The micro nap thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do like that one.
Where they were talking about how you wouldn't even realize you were asleep because your body would eventually shut itself down regardless.
Just for a few minutes.
Like even if it was just for 2 minutes. So like imagine how terrifying that would be if you think you're dead awake and all of a sudden for 2 minutes you have this horrifying hallucinatory. Like it would be like somebody throwing acid in your drink and not telling you.
Or feeding you mushrooms on your peanut butter.
Right. Not even or pizza. But
We've all had that
and what made me mad. What was one of the main things that made me so upset with that movie is the fact that it looked so horrible. Like the CGI in that movie was fucking atrocious.
They should have just went with practical effects.
And that's what I'm saying because they were lazy and wanted to save money, and that's what happens when you don't put the money and effort for it.
Even when you look at the Fred Krueger character without the, if you look at the Fred Krueger character without behind the scenes, man, he had like the green paint on his face and everything.
Well, no, it's not. Well, no, not makeup for Freddy Krueger's character.
But then it also had the CGI.
Which is
Okay,
stupid.
but let's be honest. Like in the original, when you have the scene with the one girl dying,
where they
actually
built
a
Jenny,
room
yes,
and then rotated
Murky,
that
I keep forgetting to call her
motherfucker.
her tag.
Oh my God! They
but no,
rotated. Like
yes,
this girl thought she
exactly.
was gonna die.
That's
died in the ceiling.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's ingenuity right there. Because they had to find a way to do that shit. And
They had cast members and crew members going home with their arms in fucking slings, fucking concussions, because it was a low budget movie and they had to make it work, and they did.
And
like,
let's also not forget the original Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the greatest actors of all time's first movie.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you on that.
He did a good job.
I'm just saying,
too.
that was also one of the most memorable death scenes of all.
Yes,
God,
I agree.
That was such a cool scene.
It really was. Just get sucked in and the blood just starts splurting everywhere.
Blood all
But honestly, I think the girl dying on the ceiling was more memorable because of the way she just rolled up the side of the wall.
It looked real.
Yeah,
Like it looked like it was real.
I'm saying like when I'm saying memorable, the one that's like least realistic. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I get what you're saying. That what
really,
the rolling up the walls more realistic than the blood fountain.
that's more of like.
Well, you don't really expect blood to just
fair
gush out like a fountain.
and you know what? And what made me mad?
They only did the blood fountain the one time. They did the ceiling thing a few times after that.
But and what made me mad, what really made me was like fuck this movie, is when they did the thing, like in the original where he brings his head out the wall and you can see the contours of his face.
Yeah.
You can see a face when they're
With
doing
practical effects, and the CGI in the remake was just not good.
No,
Yeah,
and
you could tell
how do you have this much advancement in technology and look worse than the original that was made that long ago?
This is after District 9.
Right. I'm like, really, dude? Like, you can't put some effort into this fucking movie? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking furious when I walked out the theater. Because I went to theaters and so I'm like, yo, they're doing a remake. Let's go check it out.
You know what?
And I was furious.
I wasn't completely furious because I think that the actor that they picked to play Fred Krueger
that's one of the
grace.
That's what made me more furious is they wasted such a good actor on that movie.
I was just more hypnotized with him being Freddy, and I was just
That's fair enough.
I was happy about that.
And
I'm not saying the movie was good by any means.
No, it wasn't.
I just really enjoy his acting.
Yeah, I like him. But now this brings up another point that I forgot to mention before we started talking about the movies. What they need to stop doing is remaking classics, because the problem with remaking hear me out. The problem with remaking the classic is that no matter
It's a
how
classic for a reason.
exactly,
Right?
and no matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to separate the original from the remake. It's impossible.
I would actually have to agree with that 100%. If anything, take a lot of those well-known, like, you know, a lot of the 80s kind of campy
movies.
ones that you love, the
Yeah,
B campy
I'm gonna tell you a
movies,
perfect
take
Remake Flash
those
Gordon.
and remake those.
No,
Or like,
that's
okay, there was one
Oh,
movie.
you see what I'm saying?
Wait. There was one movie I was watching the other night, and I obsessively love like the space exploration survival movies
Mm-hmm.
from the 80s. That's like
Event
my
Horizon.
favorite. I was watching Event Horizon.
I love that fucking
And
movie,
if
man.
they remade that today,
Oh.
do you know how fucking terrifying
yeah, they could do a
make?
really good
Especially
job
if
because
they
it was
got,
scary back then.
Dude, it still holds up.
It
very
does. It
well.
actually, yeah, it
Well,
really
And then
does.
if you
That
got
would be
somebody
just
like
Samuel.
Clive,
Look, yeah.
and then if you got somebody like Clive Barker who to like kind of come in and help with some of the writing on it,
Yeah.
that like do some stuff like that.
Or
Take some
I'm-
of the B movies,
Yeah, like-
and upgrade that shit.
Yes, like I'm gonna tell you one that I think that would be awesome as a remake. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yes. Like that's the type of movie that they need to remake. Something so campy and
That
boo
shit
movie, but
scared
it's a
me
cult.
so bad when
Really?
I was a kid. I was little.
All right,
and like,
well, while we're at it, why don't I just remake fucking Critters?
yes!
Yes, that's another one. Yes, that's another one.
They could do like a triple feature.
Like,
It would be amazing.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, those are
oh,
cult
come on.
classics.
Critters could be potentially
that could be.
terrifying.
Yes,
if
it
you
could
did
be.
It right.
Yes, if
Critters
you-
3 was actually Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie.
Right, and that movie was horrible.
Awful.
But and that's
You gotta
and that's
start somewhere.
Yeah,
Space prisoners coming to Earth.
but that's my point. Is they need to stop trying to remake classic movies because, like you said, they're classics for a reason. Remake some of these B movies that are cult classics that only a certain amount of people that may have heard of,
And make
but
it
are
better
still
known for the
original and
masses.
funny
Yeah.
and good,
Actually,
and update them.
There's actually a movie out
Or like
there
The
that
Blob.
does that.
Let him finish.
Oh, come on.
We're gonna talk about that one.
Yeah,
Because
we're
I'm
gonna
excited to
talk
talk
about
about
Okay,
that.
okay. I was getting ready to say, don't
Let's
hate
pause
on
that.
it.
There's
I love that.
actually a movie that points out to not fuck with the original, which would be Scream 4.
Oh, it does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I forgot about
Neve
that.
Campbell talks to the girl. She said, "Don't fuck with the original."
Yeah, because the problem with fucking with the original is everybody still has the original, and they're
And
even
you're always-
subconsciously.
You're always
not-
going to come up
yes,
short.
you're
It's
subcon-
never
you know,
going to live
that's
up to it.
Scream 4 was actually supposed to be like a parody of a reboot.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
See what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but sometimes you just take that stuff too far.
Yeah,
you just
it's-
gotta let it
and
go.
Scream 4 was horrible,
I think,
by the way.
I think that's what made it funny and good was because that it knew that not to mess with the original Scream.
Right. That's
And-
fair enough. Okay,
yeah,
that's what you're
and
saying now.
That's what they're pointing out. Even in the movie, she said, "Don't fuck with the original," because the movie's actually all about movies. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
And that's-
the difference between
The first one was
the
so
original
well
and
done.
the remake.
It was.
I loved the
Because
first
that
one.
that Scream 4 is pretty much exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
Originals versus remakes.
And like I said, I don't even have a problem with remakes. It's just I hate lazily done remakes that
Yeah.
bring nothing original or no good ideas to the remake itself, and they're just trying to just cash in on the name of the original. That's what makes me mad.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Wes Craven wouldn't do that.
No, I agree. Right.
That's why I think Scream 4 was
He's
actually
got
really
good remakes we never mentioned.
The Thing.
Last House on the Left.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Oh, that's a fucked up movie. by
Oh
the way.
man,
Both of them.
if
Yeah,
you
both of
like,
them.
if you don't like gore,
Don't
and-
watch that movie.
Actually, if
If you don't-
if you're offended by rape scenes,
Don't watch that
Oh,
movie.
that movie, like
Because I would have been their dad.
oh,
I would have
man.
been their dad. Like,
Like, I'm not gonna lie,
I'm
that-
shoving your head in the
no.
microwave so you can
Oh,
explode.
Oh, I'd have been the mom in the original.
Actually, the original was even more.
The mom in the
No,
original.
oh, it was.
Oh,
Yeah, the
she was
original was.
Dad was
Yeah.
with a chainsaw. He was running around with a chainsaw,
Right.
setting up traps and all kinds of shit. And the mom bit the dick off a dude.
Right, yeah. I forgot about that. But
Or
She
yeah,
just walks in the house all casual about the shit.
Yeah.
right, like blood still in her mouth and
Yeah, I
everything.
bit his dick right off. And then that was funny too because Aaron Paul was in the remake.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
And the mom shoved his hand down a garbage disposal, which
Oh, I would have.
Yeah.
Oh, everything would have gone down that disposal.
Oh, a lot.
Which they changed one thing. And
That I like.
But that's what I'm saying.
I was
They did enough.
I was glad that they changed that. That made me so much happier.
Well, I guess I can't say they changed one thing. They changed a few things because the scenes with the cops in the original were supposed to be comedy because how stupid the cops were.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, see, the remake did enough to separate us. Like, it's still going to be compared to the original, but it still did enough to be its own movie.
Right. And it was definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It wasn't the best horror movie or best thing, but it still was a really good remake.
And then they did this other thing too, where it reflects the time that it's made. Because in the 70s, all these movies had these like kind of apocalyptic endings. Almost every movie in the 70s had these kind of apocalyptic worst case scenario endings.
Right.
And then in this one, when they remade it, the girl actually lives. Like, it turns out she's like this hardcore athletic swimmer, and she manages to survive. The parents find her.
After a gunshot wound.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of like reflecting the times, because you know nowadays you want.
Almost semi-happy ending, but
It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be.
It can't
like,
be as bleak as the original.
Yeah, but you gotta have a little hope. Like, you know, you gotta have your heroes kind of dig in and fight their way out.
Wes Craven has kind of evolved. Since before he passed away.
I totally forgot about those.
He evolved so much as a director because you look at the original Last House on the Left at the very end, the very last scenes, the cops walk into the house and you see the mother and the father sitting there covered in blood.
Yeah.
And they're just destroyed.
Yeah, like, wouldn't you be? That's like, seriously.
I mean, they are, and it's such a good scene.
It is.
But then, you look at the last scene on the remake where he's shoving the guy's head in the microwave.
Yeah. It doesn't have the emotional impact that the first one had.
But it sure does make you happy.
It does.
It puts a smile on your face.
Another good, I would say, good remake is The Hills Have Eyes.
I can't.
I agree with Murky. I can't watch that movie's just that's a little too much right there.
I have a very thin
it's
line.
Wes Craven.
Well, fair enough.
But that kind of hits that point where it goes from
awesome. I don't know, man.
He's a fan of Eli Roth, so he has no faith in humanity anyway. So,
well, remember these are nuclear survivors. These are radiation survivors.
That's true.
So mutated.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. I have a certain point in movies where I feel like there's a certain point where you cross a line where it just becomes the glorification of rape and murder porn.
And that's basically what that's basically what that was. Let's be honest, it really was.
It's not a glorification. It's just showing you.
I think it's a glorification.
In every single Hills Have Eyes, you have extended rape scenes. Extended.
Right. But but still, I mean, it's please forgive me when I say this.
If you like that kind of movie, please
don't judge me.
You do your thing.
It's hard. It's hard to do a tasteful rape scene, but if you do, I mean, it's like I'm trying to do this way it's not offensive.
I see where you're going with this,
right?
Because there are some rape scenes where I watch it and I understand why it's relevant to the movie,
right?
Why it has to be in
there. But
there.
if you're just doing that shit for shock value, it's insulting. It really did.
It's just
that's for me. Honestly, I consider Hills Have Eyes one of Wes Craven's worst movies because of that.
I agree.
Yeah, because of that. Because he's doing it just for shock value.
Yeah,
There's nothing to enhance the
It
story.
still wasn't a bad remake.
No, it wasn't.
It's not a bad remake. It's just not my kind of movie.
And I agree.
But the thing, well, that's what we're talking about though, is remakes. The between the originals and the new ones is that nowadays we're so jaded that you kind of need that shock value.
You know what? I do actually agree with the newest because we become so desensitized because it takes more and more to shock us nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I can sit here I watched. I watched Predator the other day, and that scene where not Billy, but the black dude, I can't remember his name. Not Carl Weathers.
But I know you're talking about the other guy. The other guy who no one knows his name, but he's a villain in almost every movie.
All the 80s.
The 80s,
yeah. He was great.
Mac, that's right.
His head blown off, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually, and you know what? That's a problem too because
we're so jaded.
And honestly, because we grew up in a golden age for movies and everything, and we've seen a lot of different stuff to where now we're so desensitized to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're so
that's-
desensitized by it, and it takes a little bit more each time to shock us. But
You know what? You know what I have noticed though when I'm watching movies is like there was a couple months ago we were watching the Saw movies.
Oh yeah.
And it was like watching that, it's like it's so over.
Awesome.
It's like don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the Saw movies at all.
I like them.
I like every now
I
and
like
then,
the first two.
Every
I like
now and
Jigsaw.
then I get in the mood for a little bit of gore and whatnot.
Right.
So that's cool.
I
But honestly, it's like some of it is so in your face overdone that by the end of it, you're just like, eh.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like a week ago, I'm watching, I was watching fucking 13 Reasons Why.
Why are you whispering?
The second season, because I was trying to think of what the hell I was
Right.
watching. I was watching the second season of 13 Reasons Why. And the very last episode, there is a 2-minute scene
I don't
that
wanna see
literally had me cringing. I had to walk out of the room. And it was simple. Like,
is that the thing with the broom?
yeah.
Okay.
It
I
wasn't-
haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
It wasn't graphic.
I don't know nothing about it. No.
Well, it wasn't graphic. They didn't actually show you, but the way they implied it, this shit had me walking out of the room. Like, I turned off the TV.
That show itself
My
is
kids
good.
went to walk in the living room, and I was like, stay out. Just stay out. Like, I was freaking out over this little 2-minute scene that's not even graphic or shows
But-
you anything.
But that's where, like, and I agree, and that's why it's important. Like, this is actually to feed off of your point. That's why it's important not to show everything. Do you hear me, directors? I want you to listen to me right now. Like, I'm speaking to the directors. Let me talk to the directors. real quick.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're gonna say.
But you see where
Directors-
I'm going,
Oh, I
though.
do, because
Yeah.
Sometimes your imagination is better. than-
Yes, directors. You see, you don't have to show us everything. We're intelligent enough to realize, like,
What's going
a
on.
perfect example, the director for Sinister with the lawnmower scene. Like, we see the lawnmower, we kind of know what's going to happen, but when they see the show the lady's face, inadvertently, we
cuts
like,
out.
and we,
No,
it cuts,
actually, the whole thing
no, it cuts out, but even I was like, oh shit, and it doesn't even show anything, but our imaginations are a lot worse.
I covered my face. I was in the theater, and I was like, oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. And even I turned and I'm like, oh, and they didn't show anything. But that's what a lot of directors don't understand. Sometimes, especially in horror movies, less is
It's
more.
Less
But
is
anyways,
more.
we're getting
Which
to,
we have
Sorry,
said.
sorry.
We
Yeah,
have
but-
said several
Sorry.
times.
But anyways,
All right,
but
okay.
first, everybody, we're gonna take a little small break right quick because we've been going on for a little bit. We're gonna come back to another part
Mainly
of
on
our.
Jungle Book.
But we'll be right
I
back,
think I got
everybody.
us off track. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's
about
fine. Hey, that's the point of shooting the shit. But we'll be back, everybody.